What's up people, DoubleDragon here with more PTR coverage. This is a boss guide and it's Majira, something like that. An ancient multi-headed Hydra lurking beneath the waters. So I've had a look through this fight and essentially it's like, just a chimera, it's 3 heads and you've got to take down each head one at a time, I believe. Every time you take down a head, you got to make sure you're doing it in the right phase. Now you got a wild phase and a focus phase, so you can read it right here. When a wild head is destroyed, all heads stop being wild and all heads outside of the concealing fog become focused. So you kill a wild head and then suddenly they all become focused, alright? And you want that to happen. But if you kill a head while it is focused, then 2 more heads will appear, and that's horribly bad. So you never want that to happen. So essentially the strat is you just wait for them to turn wild. There's no, I can't really tell you how that happens. I guess it's just like a time thing. The instant you see it's wild, you have to kill one of them. But don't kill all of them at the same time because it's going to take 20 seconds before you can do it again. So ideally, from what I can imagine, you take down each one within like, you take down one, 20 seconds later, hopefully take down another one, then you just keep going like that. So first of all, you got the firehead, the one you can see right here. And it does a Cinder ability, which is a magic effect, probably dispellable, I have no idea. Spits a fire projectile at a random enemy location that on an impact within the ground creates consuming flame. So you can avoid this, I'm almost certain you can. If the missile hits a player, it sets them on fire, inflicting 75,000 damage, and an additional 45,000 every 1 second. It creates consuming flames when dispelled. So you can dispel it, and you have to dispel it because like you have to dispel it over this like icy ground stuff in order to get rid of the icy ground. I'm pretty certain that's how it works. So you will be dispelling this, and I don't know if this is like a certain amount of time elapses, then it like falls off itself, like, you know, a few seconds or something. But from what I can gather here, Cinder like stays on you until it is dispelled. I don't think it automatically falls off. So when it is dispelled, then consuming flame appears, or when it hits the ground, consuming flame appears, and that's just like a fire circle, right? You just get out of it, get out of the fire. That's all there is to it. It's a magic effect, but there's nothing else to that. So focused is for the tanks, right? Each boss does focused, and from what I can tell, whenever focus happens, it means that's the boss you got to tank. Whether they do it all at the same time or one at a time, I can't tell you yet. Anyway, he does a weakened defense. And that's just a tank swap, you know, nothing to it. Fire spew is, he does a breath in a cone in front of him. 100-yard cone in a 60-degree angle. That's quite large, so you got to make sure you're not facing it towards the group. And anyone that gets hit by the breath gets a burning flesh, which is just a dot, right? And that's just going to be you. Whether or not you can avoid this, I can't say at this stage. But maybe you'll be able to. We'll see. So the wild phase is where he like transforms, I guess, and he's just going to rain fire down. Inflicts 50,000 damage every 1 second. Whether or not they all turn wild at the same time, I think they do, and they've all got the same kind of wild effect. They all do 50,000 every second in like to all players, no matter the yard, range, distance, whatever. So that's it for him. The frost head, which you can see here, is a it does frost stuff. So first of all, we got Torrent of Ice. It freezes the ground with a Torrent of Ice. Torrent inflicts 50,000 damage every 0.25 seconds at the point of contact. Whether you can avoid this, can't say for certain, but I imagine it'll be like a copy paste of the Cinder ability. But we shall see. Icy ground, move out of it. It's like the get out of the fire, but in this case ice, because it'll slow you down and freeze you solid. That might be dispellable, maybe. But you shouldn't be getting that anyway, so don't even concern yourself with it. So focused is the exact same as the last one. Does a cone attack, tank swap, and if you get enough stacks, then it will stun you. Whether you can avoid that, I cannot tell you. So essentially that phase is the same as the last phase, but with ice, okay? So third phase with the poison head, see it here? It has 1 eye, that is really creepy. He does the acid rain, so he spits 3 gobs of acid at the random enemy. Inflicts 250,000 nature damage to all targets. Okay, damage is reduced the further the player is from the impact location. So you just gotta move away from the falling acid rain. So you got to move from the fire falling down, the ice falling down, and the acid rain falling down. It's the exact same mechanic 3 times that do different kind of, have little quirks, right? So focused, tank swap, get out of the cone if you can, and when you get hit by this, get right armor, which is, it reduces your effectiveness of armor by 50% for 6 seconds. So yeah, if I could tell you whether or not you can avoid this attack, this cone attack, like, let's just assume for a second that you can, alright? It means you just gotta move away from it. As soon as they're done, move back into position. If you can't avoid it, it means you have to call out when you get right armor, because you're gonna need massive heals. If you get hit by frozen solid, you're gonna have to wait 5 seconds, so pop a cooldown before that happens. And with burning flesh, you just gotta ask for heals, okay? Nothing else to that. Wild, you already know what that is. Elemental blood of the Hydra. So whenever a head is cut off, all heads of that element type inflict 10% additional damage to the remainder of the fight. Now, just based on that, I think what will happen is you take down a head in the wild phase, and 1 head will respawn as soon as you do. So you got to take down all 3 heads, and then the fight's over. But they'll be respawning as you do. If you do it in the wrong phase, in the focused phase, the bad one, then 2 heads are going to spawn, and you're doomed. You're just doomed. So no matter what happens, you'll get 10% additional damage per additional head. So yeah, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Just don't screw up. Sealing fog. This isn't a mechanic. It's just like a little. His body is going to be shrouded, and the reason they do that is because they can't be bothered animating the rest of his body. It's just like Magmore from that fire dungeon raid place. I can't remember the name of it, but you know who I'm talking about. Magmore. He's the big fiery lizard. No, worm dude. Anyway, that was a great way to finish. Okay, so that's the whole fight, guys. Stick around for more PTR footage. Subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you next time. Catch ya.